Yeah, me too. Once a year I do it.
No, he lives in Tennessee right now. But they're looking to perhaps move. He's got a, yeah, he's with the Secret Service for 5 years.
And those trips aren't as
I think it's Secret Service.
not like Aruba.
They end up
No.
guarding water fountains.
I could do that once a month.
But now he's been assigned to the Army to do investigations.
Lacey, you ready?
Yep.
All right. We are going to call the March
Get
5th,
a job on.
2025 Board of Zoning Appeals meeting to order. The first order of business would be, Ms. Blankenhorn, please call the roll. Call the order.
Ms. Cunningham.
Here.
Mr. Percy.
Here.
Mr. O'Quinn.
Here.
Mrs. Ramsire. Mr. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Adams.
Here.
Mrs. Gant.
Here.
We do have a quorum with one extra.
Yay. All right. So then the first order of business is 2025. No. Swearing in of new members. Yay. That is not on my.
I just sent the revised agenda out this morning to add the swearing
I
in.
didn't have time for
form.
that today. Sorry. All right. Would our new members join Mr. Braun? Do you need him down front, right? No. He'll just
They can't come down front.
come on down and he'll. If you haven't been sworn in yet, please come down.
Sworn in or sworn at?
Sworn at.
Sworn at. Well, wouldn't be the
And
first
that-
meeting that happened.
All right, so. What I'll do is I'll ask you to repeat what I'm saying, except for the first line, I'll say I, and give you your own name. And then, of course, someone will always say, enter my own name. Do our best, yes. All right. I state your own name.
I, Lisa Gant,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear,
upon entering office,
upon entering office,
I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties of the Board of Zoning Appeals
discharge the duties of the Board of Zoning Appeals
for the City of Mount Vernon,
for the City of Mount Vernon,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
during my continuance in said office.
during my continuance in said office.
Congratulations. Great. Now here. For you both.
Given your permanent place.
Adam, sign and date that.
Until when you decide to leave.
Yeah.
Just right here. Yep.
Seems like that's with you. You just keep coming back. Good.
I do.
like that. Kind of like warts.
All right. Congratulations, both of you.
Thank you.
All right, we official.
Yep.
All right, so the next item before us is 2025 election of chairperson. Should we do chairperson or vice chairperson first?
I'll nominate both together. I'd like to nominate Michael Percy to be chair and Chris O'Quinn to be vice chair.
Second.
Man.
Wow, I
It's an
can't write
ambush.
that fast enough.
Ms.
We've done this
Blankenhorn, please
before.
call the roll. Or actually, we got to see if there are any other additional.
Let me write
nominees.
this down.
Wow.
Ms. Cunningham is done
Shock
this
and awe.
I think this is what happened the last time. Very similar approach.
Yeah, but Susie's not here.
Over here sandbagging us. What is happening?
Well, because the last time she didn't do that, she became vice chair.
Oh, okay. All right.
Can't miss any meetings. You know.
I can't say no,
All right.
but I can nominate well.
Are there any other nominees? Any other nominations before us? If not,
I'd move to have the nominations closed.
all right. Nominations are closed. Ms. Blankenhorn, please call the roll.
Ms. Cunningham.
Yes.
Mr. Percy.
Can I abstain?
Sure.
Yes.
Mr. O'Quinn.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
You must.
See, there you
See?
go. It's a vote of
All
confidence.
right. With that, we have elected our 2025 chair and vice chair. Once again, as shocked as always. I keep trying. I've been trying for several years.
You need to do a bad job.
I know. All right. The next item before us is approval of the November 20th, 2024 Board of Zoning Appeals minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So motion.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. With that, the November 20th, 2024 Board of Zoning Appeal minutes are approved. I just want to note it, I missed it, that meeting, because I was on vacation. So
Rub it in.
it was one of the highlights of the year for me. All right. So the case before us today is 2025 BZA-04, 935 Coshocton Avenue, a variance for a second freestanding sign. Is there a proponent of the variance request before us? Please come up and be sworn in. There's a card there. Just read card.
My name is Matthew Lynn. My address is 2669 National Road, Zanesville, Ohio. I affirm that my testimony is truthful to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God, or under penalty of perjury.
And
Excuse me. Can he, might get closer to the mic, I can't hear him.
You don't need to repeat the oath.
What? All right. What are we hoping to achieve today?
Take Five. I'm sorry, I'm with Kessler Sign Company on behalf of Take Five. We are under the assumption that we are here for a variance to obtain a road sign
Yeah,
for.
the second freestanding sign.
So this particular location is on a parcel that involves multiple businesses.
Correct.
And so that typically has a group sign, or what it's, I'm sorry, it's a directory sign like
Sure.
this. And so that is what is normally given to a parcel with multiple businesses on it. So what you're asking for is a variance to have a freestanding sign separate than the directory sign that is already available. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Any additional details you'd like? Is that the only variance? Everything else fits inside the code?
Yes.
Okay. So it's the variance for the second sign. Does anyone have any questions for him? Okay.
I do. Just quickly. So where are we planning to locate it? I think. I mean, it's just to the right of the driveway before onto the. Well, I guess looking at it, it'd be to the left of your building, right, and to the
Correct.
right of the driveway.
So we kind of look back, ourselves and the client. There used to be an old Long John Silver sign there, and we're proposing to put it in that same general area where the old one was.
Okay.
The Long John Silver sign predated code, so.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was removed some time ago, wasn't it?
Yes, when
Yeah.
they vacated the premises.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Any other questions for him? Are there any other proponents of the proposed variance request before us? Are there any opponents of the proposed variance request before us? Mr. Carr, please come up and be sworn in.
My name is Don Carr. My address 4 Upland Terrace. I affirm that my testimony is truthful to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God, or under penalty of perjury. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome to the new members. Another Vernon family member now seeking community service. Thank you for being here. You explained the property well, although it doesn't show in the application, just for edification. That whole corner, northeast corner, is owned by one property owner, other
Except
than
for-
the bank
Yeah, that's for the bank.
and the drive-through.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. There are Buffalo Wings and Marshall's and 3 other businesses that are in a strip mall there. There are also 2 other businesses in another freestanding building on that property, Kay's Jewelers and Cross Creek Dental. So now we're looking at a 3rd building to be placed on that property. It should be noted that Kay's Jewelry and Cross Creek Dental do not have any signage on the frontage of Coshocton. Three other businesses east of the proposed site are Tim Hortons and Advantage Auto, and another building behind that, I don't know who they are, Contact Us is on the building. Tim Hortons and Advance Auto share only one monument sign on that property. The other back property doesn't have any signage. Further east, Starbucks is a standalone building. It has none frontage monument type signage. Valley Plaza behind Starbucks with 6 tenants share one monument sign. These are just examples. There are many examples of businesses in Mount Vernon with limited street signage that are flourishing here in town. The narrative provided in the application kind of indicates at least how big this sign is. We know it's going to be 10 feet tall. Its base is going to be 30 inches in dimension. It'll be the top of the sign will be 24 inches wide. I take it, unless somebody sees differently, that it'll be two-sided and it'll be illuminated in interior type LED.
Internally.
Internal, thank you. What did I say? Interior, thank you. And it'll be 84 inches in depth from the street toward the back of the property. Pretty significant size monument sign, I think we have to agree. In the application, it also says that that Take 5 oil change will be disadvantaged compared to the neighboring businesses. I just pointed out to you, a number of businesses in that area don't even have any signage. So it's also going further down, states that the monument, 10-foot monument sign will complement existing signage. And I think it's fair to say that most people in Mount Vernon would say that that sign certainly is not going to complement much of anything. Last month, the city already approved building wall signage of 70.3 square feet. So there's 3 signs that are already going up, with the largest one being 6 foot by 5 foot. So there's no question when people drive by this building that there's a fear that they won't know what that building represents. Allowing the variance for a second monument business sign on the street frontage of the property will create a precedence that would allow other businesses on Coshocton and in other general business districts to have more freestanding signs. What if Kay Jeweler comes to you and asks for a street sign since they don't have one? When our city leaders on city council adopted the new zoning code last year, I believe they were trying to limit freestanding signs to 1 per property in general business district. I ask that you deny the application for this variance for a second sign on the Front Street frontage. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Are there any other opponents of the proposed variance request before us? Please be sworn in.
Yes. My name is Gary Kester, and my address is 24 Eastgate Drive. I affirm that my testimony is truthful to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God, or under penalty of perjury. I want to speak against this application for a second sign. Not too long ago, the city spent over $80,000 and a lot of man hours to develop a new city code. City Council approved it unanimously. And the intention is to further develop our community so that it has more attractive and has some uniformity in the business districts besides the residential districts. I don't think it's appropriate for us to amend this intention to conform and develop Coshocton into a more friendly atmosphere than what it has been. I've lived here for 20 years, and there's been a gradual cluttering and of Coshocton Avenue and the business district there. And I don't believe that this signage is necessary or appropriate for the intentions that we trying to do to develop a community that is more attractive than in the trajectory that it has had in the past. Could you show the footprint of the property again? Yeah. Let me just point out that this is an exit driveway that will leaving this parking lot going on to Coshocton. People who approach the Coshocton from here are going to have to look east or up to Coshocton in order to go on to Coshocton. This sign is going to be a prohibit or interfere with their ability to see the traffic coming in that direction. I think that is also a problem. Well, I think that's all I have. I just think it's in the interest of our city to implement the code that we have, be consistent with it. I know a lot of us spend a lot of time reviewing the code, and it's a big code, and it is a bit complicated, but I think this is pretty straightforward. And I think by denying this application, this business will conform to all the other businesses that are located on this parcel. Thank you now.
Are there any other opponents of the proposed variance request before us? Is there any written or verbal communication regarding the proposed variance request before us?
I did not receive any outside communications, but I do have a staff report
All right.
dated March 4th, 2025 for case 2025 BZA 01, 935 Coshocton Avenue, parcel number 66-04268.000. The subject property is zoned GB, General Business District. There are 3 separate structures on the parcel occupied by numerous tenants. There is an existing freestanding multi-tenant sign on the parcel. City Code Section 1113.08A2 allows for 1 freestanding sign along each public street frontage per property. City Code Section 1113.08A6 gives the responsibility to the property owner to determine the messaging on the freestanding sign when it serves multiple tenants or uses. A review of other commercial properties around the city with multiple structures and/or entities did not reveal any other parcels with more than 1 freestanding sign.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Blankenhorn. And, all right, I would entertain a motion regarding so just kind of, for the new members, I'll just kind of, we try to make the motion in the affirmative, even if you may want to vote no, you typically would make the motion to approve, and then we vote how you want to vote, but it is difficult, or have you that worked out that in the system?
They have not.
The way the system, and it's just kind of a refresher, the city's code system computer doesn't really allow them to we can't do something in the negative. It has to be in the affirmative, and then we can then either vote for it or against it. But we have to make the motion to either approve or amend it, but you can't really deny it in the motion. We go back at it from the other way. So just kind of, it's weird, I know, to always do something in the affirmative, but that is the way that their system works. So I just like to kind of, typically what we do is we have the motion and a second, and then if we want discussion or if we have additional questions, we would do it after the motion is seconded. So that's our point. If we have no additional questions or discussions, then we could, then that's when we would go to a vote. So I just like to kind of, since we have several new people, I like to just kind of go over the rules of engagement, so to speak. So with that said, I would entertain a motion regarding the proposed variance request before us.
All motion.
You make a motion to accept the variance as presented. All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I think it warrants discussion. Yes.
Okay, all right.
I think that there are.
So speak up in the
Sorry,
mic,
sorry.
because she has to record the
Right,
minutes. So.
absolutely. So I feel that there are several issues that probably warrant discussion on this, as it would be, according to the staff report. That last sentence is pretty pertinent, I think, and it would be the only structure in the city that we would allow. I think that could potentially maybe create some issues for us down the road. It's just in general,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
It potentially even on that same property.
Correct.
I wonder why, instead of a new sign, Take Five didn't discuss altering the existing monument that was there. Instead,
Well,
I feel like,
so the existing is, I would say that the existing is a pole sign, and I don't know if, would they be able to amend that existing sign short of making the panel smaller? And I'm not,
right, I don't know.
I don't know, because it is a pole sign, and what's happened is our new code does now prevent pole signs. So if they were to make major modifications, they would have to most likely amend that. But that's not our problem. That is up to the building owner to make that decision and
Right.
work with engineering to determine that,
Correct.
whether that would still be acceptable. So
Yeah.
that would be what I would say to that. So, but just for clarification, so our previous code had allowed pole signs, which that would be considered a pole sign. And we're actually
Well, I think,
some time ago.
yeah, actually, the
Sometime.
most recent several code iterations did not allow pole signs. They've all been grandfathered in, which is why a lot of the building owners work very hard to keep their pole signs, because once it falls down, you can't put it back up.
Correct, correct. So we are trying to have a consistent approach in the community related to signs. We prefer not to have pole signs anymore. There are only a handful still out there. I almost negotiated one a few years ago away, but they weren't gonna bite, so. So Aldi still has their pole signs. But.
We try.
So that they should coordinate, that would be the
Correct.
appropriate approach would be.
Correct.
And I will point out that Huntington does not have a sign, a monument or a pole sign of any shape. Their only signage, which would be next door, is only on the building. So, all right, any additional?
Yeah, if I could make a comment. The last gentleman who was up, I think pretty much laid it out. You know, the city took a long time in redoing the zoning code. When I was law director, we were kind of burdened with the code that we had. And I know, you know, it was back in, 2006 when these modifications were made. It appears to me that we don't want to slip back. They spent a lot of time on the code. They spent a lot of time determining how many signs on a property and how big these signs would be. So I intend to vote no on it because I think that we have to enforce the zoning code. It's a new code, and we should follow what the city council's desires, and they desire to redo the zoning code, and they did.
And my additional input would be that they spent a lot of time looking at what other communities' codes were and really trying to have a code that not only reflected our community values, but those in number of neighboring communities so that it was consistent and not just us standing out here on our own screaming. So,
right.
so that would be my input. All right. Any other discussion?
As someone who's not voting tonight, am I part of the discussion or should I focus on listening?
I think she can discuss, she just can't vote, right?
You can allow her, you can choose to allow her
Chair
to
can-
discuss,
Can
to
gi-
discuss.
The chair
Okay.
can give you
I just
leeway with.
have
which-
one question.
Uh-huh.
Because it was asking for a second sign, for clarification, their sign would not go on the pole sign at all.
Well, they could, that's up to them to work with the
That's
property
what you're
owner.
explaining. Okay.
So that whole thing is one parcel, Marshalls, B-dubs, all that's one parcel. So the owner of that parcel is not Take Five, the owner of the parcel is the management company that owns all of those. So it would be up to the tenant, Take Five, to negotiate with their property owner to determine what's appropriate, just like Kay's and Cross Creek, they're not on the sign. If they wanted, they should negotiate with the property owner, that's their discussion.
I got
The
it.
property owner then could make revisions to the sign based on
Okay.
code at that time.
Thank you.
Huh? All right, all right. Now, like I said, we had new people, so we're trying to walk it through a little longer than we may normally. You'll find in a couple meetings in, I'm pretty quick, and not always as informative. So, all right, anything else? If not, we'll have Ms. Blankenhorn call the roll.
Ms. Cunningham,
No.
Mr. Percy,
No.
Mr. O'Quinn,
No.
Mr. Smith,
No,
Mr. Adams.
No.
All right, with that, 2025 BZA-04 is denied as requested. Is there any additional business before us today, since I didn't print the latest copy of the agenda?
I do not have anything.
All right, with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. We are adjourned.
I
All
tried.
right, thank you all for your
we become
time.
our official member.
Lynn? Thank you. Today, for serving me. Voting.
Yeah, I mean,
They just swore me in today. This is my first meeting.
why didn't you vote?
Hey, Simon.
Yeah.